Hello everyone and welcome to Math Steps. Today we are going to learn how to plot the curve of a quadratic graph. This is called a standard form of a quadratic function. Y equals ax to the power of 2 plus bx plus c. And a, b, and c are called constants. They're actually digits and numbers. Now, if a is positive, remember this, so if a is positive, then the curve or the parabola is going to look like this. Something similar to this one, so it's a smiley face. But if a is negative, then the parabola is going to look like that. So it's a frowny face. Now let's have a look at one example. Plot the curve y equals 2x to the power of 2 minus 3x minus 2 in the range x smaller and equals than 4, bigger and equals than minus 2. Now, as you see, the constant a is 2, so it's positive. So the final parabola is going to look, the curve or parabola is going to look like this. So this is what you need to do. So you need a pair of coordinates, obviously, a y and an x. And of course, you need a table of values. Now, what I did with the table of values, I left a lot more space for the y than for the x. So I placed all the values of x that begins at minus 2, and then it stops at 4, okay? And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to substitute for x minus 2 here and x minus 1 here and so on. And I have to tell you a couple of things before you start substitution, especially when you use negative numbers. Put the negative number always in a bracket like this when you substitute. Because especially when you do minus 2 to the power of 2, for example, this means, of course, because you do minus 2 times minus 2, the answer is going to be 4. But if you leave it like that, minus 2 to the power of 2, then first you might think that just the 2 is to the power of 2, and the answer might be minus 4. Okay, so you might ignore, this is a misconception that happens, but this is wrong actually. Even when you use a calculator, you must use a bracket, so the calculator does minus 2 to the power of 2, not minus separately and then 2 to the power of 2, and the answer is going to be minus 4. And the other thing that I want you to know and remember, if you see 2x, and that means a multiplication 2 times x, so the 2 will have to multiply the value of x. Or if you have 2x to the power of 2, again, that means a multiplication also 2 times x to the power of 2. And you have to do the power first, then multiply the answer by 2. Okay, let's substitute all the values of x one by one. So see, I put minus 2 to the power of 2, and I'm going to put a little multiplication here so that you know that 2x to the power of 2 means 2 times minus 2 to the power of 2. And then multiplication here, and the answer, final answer is going to be 12. For x minus 1, this is what you're going to have. Again, I'm going to put a little multiplication. You don't need it when you use brackets, but just in case, and the final answer is going to be 3. For 0, the answer is going to be minus 2, because 2 times 0, x to the power of 2, 0 to the power of 2 is 0, okay? And 0 minus 0, 0, minus 2, minus 2. For x equals 1, you don't need the bracket in this case, so the answer is going to be 2 minus 3 minus 2. The answer is minus 3. For x equals 2, substitute bit by bit, follow bitmaps, and the answer is going to be 0. For x equals 3, again, you don't need the bracket when you substitute a positive value. And so the answer, so 3 to the power of 2 is 9 times 2, 18, minus 9, minus 2, the answer is going to be 7. When you substitute x equals 4, then we're going to have 2 times 4 to the power of 2, okay? Minus 3 times 4, okay, minus 3 times 4, minus 2. And so the answer, so 4 times to the power of 2 is 16 times 2, 32, minus 12, because 3 times 12 minus 3 times 4 is 12, minus 12, minus 2, so 32 minus 12 is 20, minus 2, 18. We're going to stop here. Now is the time where you plot the points. So the first one is going to be minus 2. So do a little underlining with a different color, like me, just so that it's more visual. And you do not mix the values of x's with the values of y. So minus 2, 12. Let's find where minus 2, 12 is. Minus 2, 12. So this is where 12. So this is minus 2, 12. Okay. Next one is minus 1, 3. And minus 1, 3 is going to be, this is where the 3 is. So it's going to be right here, minus 1, 3. Next one is 0, minus 2. 0, minus 2, 0, minus 2. So it's going to be right there. 0, minus 2. This is where minus 2 is. Okay. And then 1, minus 3. Minus 3 is right here in the middle. So it's going to be right here. 1, minus 3. 1, minus 3. Okay. And then 2, 0. 2, 0. So it's this point here. We finished with 2, 0. 3, 7. 3 and a 7. 3, 7. So 3, 7, it is going to be this point here, right? 3 and 7. And then 4, 18. 4, 18. Go up, 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 and stop at 18. We have now all the points that we need. And now, this is the key. You never use a ruler when you plot, when you draw the curve, okay? When you sketch the curve. Because you're gonna have to join those points with a curved line, not a straight line. So let's start from the first point. You know, go like that, slowly, slowly. You can use a pencil. So whenever you might make a mistake, you can rub it out. Pencil and a rubber would be good to make the parabola or the curve look as neat and clear and as curvy as possible. And there you go until you touch the other point. You stop here, yep, and then next one is here. Then you go up the curved line, and then curved again, right? Go, and then you join the other point with this point gently, and this is the curve. Yeah, so this is the final answer of the curve. So this is what the parabola will look like for the values of x's from -2 to 4, including -2 and 4. Right, let's have a look at another example. Now, can you see in this example, y equals -3x to the power of 2 plus 3x plus 6. The a is negative. Is negative. That means the parabola is going to look like that. So it's going to look down, a frowny face. In the range of x, smaller and equal than 3 and bigger and equal than -2. So let's have a look. Again, it's very important, the table of values. Place all the x's on the left-hand side and leave enough space to do the substitution. And as I said, when we did the first example, always put the negative value of x's in a bracket, and then remember -3x to the power of 2 means -3 times -2 to the power of 2, and -3 times the -2. So the answer is going to be -12. After you substitute -1, let me put a little multiplication here and a little multiplication here. So you know that 3x means 3 times x, and -3x to the power of 2 means -3 times x to the power of 2. So the answer is going to be 0. When you substitute the 0 here, the answer is going to be 6. So it's meant to be a 6 here. And then after you substitute the 1, the answer is going to be 6 again. When you substitute the 2, and you see, you don't need to use a bracket for positive values of x's, just leave them as they are. But remember, you do the power first, okay? Or indices, or the square, so 2 to the power of 2 times minus 3. So the answer for this one is going to be 0. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4 minus 12 plus 6 is 0. And after we substitute the 3, this is what we're going to have. Minus 3 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 3 times 3 plus 6 equals. Now 3 to the power of 2 is 9. 9 times minus 3, it will be minus 27. Minus 27 plus 9 plus 9 plus 6. So 9 times minus 27 plus 9 plus 6. So the whole answer of this one here, so it's like plus 15. So the answer is going to be minus 12. Okay, so it's like minus 27 plus 15. I've added them two together, which is absolutely fine, plus 15. So minus 27 plus 15, the answer is going to be minus 12. Let's now plot the points. So the first point we are going to plot is minus 2, minus 12. Let's find minus 2, minus 12. So this is minus 2 for the y, values minus 4, minus 6, minus 8, minus 10, and minus 12 is going to be right here. So minus 2, minus 12, the point is going to be right there. Next one is going to be minus 1, 0. Minus 1, 0. So it's going to be this point here. Next one, 0, 6, 0, 6. So it's going to be this one here. Next one, 1, 6. 1, 6. So it's going to be this point there. 2, 0. So it's going to be 2, 0. X2, Y0. So it's going to be this point here. The next one is 3 minus 12. 3 minus 12, so it's going to be 3 minus 12 at this point there. Now you can tell the parabola is going to be a frowny shape. Okay, now it's time to join the points with a curved line, not a ruler. So gently, gently, I'm going to start by joining the first 2 points with a curved line as much as I can. As much as I can. It's got to be, so try to make it as accurately drawn as possible. You use a pencil and a rubber to rub out any lines that is not necessarily, they shouldn't be there, okay? And the next one, you join these two together. Now here, how can you join these two together? Now, again, with a line, with a curved line, making sure you estimate the highest point of the parabola. This is an estimation. Even these points here are going to be an estimation. The point of this curved line is going to be an estimation. And then join the next one with the next point, and then the next point with the last point that we've plotted. And there you go. Oh, we are going to have a parabola or a curve. A curve. So this is the curve, and it's a frowny face. And because the constant a was negative. So I think we've done a good job here. So now here is your independent work. Again, you're going to draw the graph of a quadratic function, y equals minus 2x to the power of 2 plus 2x plus 5 for values of x smaller and equals than 3 and bigger and equals than minus 2. So again, you're going to need a pair of coordinates labeled carefully and a table where I would advise you to make the x column a slightly bit smaller than the y. You need enough space for the y to put the substitution in there. And be careful when you substitute. Check the substitution a couple of times to make sure that you have the answer you're going to need, the accurate answer. And when you substitute the negative values of x, put the negative value in a bracket to avoid any misconceptions, anything to do with using the calculator. Okay, and then the other thing is 2x means 2 times x. Minus 2x to the power of 2 means minus 2 times the answer of x to the power of 2. So enjoy working this question independently. Thank you very much for watching my steps. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.